The main part of my story is that I struggled through knowing who God was in itself, and they were God and Jesus were two different people for me at the time, and I really struggled with putting them together as one. And so I always, my wife is, I felt was more spiritual than I was. Like I felt like whenever something good happened, it was because of her, and there was a moment where I prayed about it, and it was the first time I actually prayed to God, and in that moment, He actually spoke to me in a way that I could understand, which is through a weird way, I guess. Is like He didn't appear before me, but what He did was He worked through a neighbor of mine, and it was a time to where we're kind of struggling a little bit financially, to where, I didn't really have plans for how we're going to eat. Not to the point that we wouldn't have had anything to eat, but still, it wasn't like a lobster dinner or nothing, something fancy or whatever. But so when I was praying that, like at that exact moment, our neighbor came to the door, and she literally had like 2 chickens in her hand, like, here you go. I don't have anything to do with this. I felt like you needed them. And so like that moment right there is where I threw away all my doubt, because I was like on my knees praying to God, like, are you real? Give me something. And then that happens. And I thought that was huge. And so from that moment on, I couldn't deny what I was learning, what I was seeing, what I was experiencing. Hi, I'm Michael Ibarra, one half of Michael and Jamie Ibarra. We have a total of 6 kids, ranging from 17 all the way down to age 6. A moment of transformation I experienced in discipleship would be a moment where I had taken value in the things that my wife communicates to me. So basically, like, not brushing off what she had to say, like I had more important things to say, but actually making an attempt to remember some details about what she was talking about, whether it be in her job or tell me about something that happened with the kids. Because I kind of get in the mode of just, focusing on one task at a time, if you will. And then a week later, which is like, oh, we have this on the calendar. Do you remember that? And at the time, I'd be like, I don't remember that at all. So I remember going through with the guys through a learning circle, and they were like, hey, that might be a red flag. Not something that's going to be hurtful in your relationship, but it could be a growing section for you to, like, pay attention, I guess, to your wife and the details that she's telling you. Something I really enjoy about D3 and the discipling process is just the intentionality that New City has with it. I think that we really have a huge heart for making disciples, and I haven't really had an experience outside of New City as far as church, but from my image of what church is and what you do at church and why you go to church, I think New City puts a real emphasis on this is exactly why you come to church. This is why you make church friends. God calls us to make disciples, and this is how you do it. And they have a perfect roadmap, I personally feel, to be able to accomplish that. I would encourage someone who's thinking about stepping into discipleship, I would encourage them to really get involved into what the church is doing, whether it be our different events we have going on, or our city groups, or even serving. I think that would be a perfect way to get into our community of how we do things. And as far as not like you have to, but it's an encouragement, because if you want to be a part of something, you have to put yourself into those situations. And just, really the biggest part is to make the church friends, because then you'll really have an opportunity to see what that's like.